The board will now come to order. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Alderman Troop, Alderwoman Flowers, Alderman Bosley, Alderman Moore, Alderwoman Hubbard, Alderwoman Triplett, Alderwoman Young, Alderman Conway, Alderman Ortman, Alderman Vollmer, Alderman Villa, Alderman Arnowitz, Alderman Wessels, Alderwoman Howard, Alderwoman Florida, Alderwoman Behringer, Alderman Rhodey, Alderman Kennedy, Alderwoman Davis, Alderman Schmid, Alderman French, Alderman Boyd, Alderman Vaccaro, Alderman Ogilvie, Alderman Cone, Alderman Williamson, Alderman Carter, Alderwoman Cruzen, President Reed,
Here.
Alderman Bosley, Alderman Vollmer, Alderwoman Howard, Alderwoman Davis, Alderman Schmid, Alderman French, Alderman Carter, Alderwoman Cruzen, 22 present.
Quorum being present, I'll ask everyone in the chambers and the galleries who's able to stand to please rise for prayer. Giving all honor to God, Almighty God, source of all authority, we humbly ask guidance in our deliberations and wisdom in our conclusions. Amen. We'll dispense with our regular order of business to take up our courtesy resolution calendar. I move for adoption of our courtesy resolution calendar. Entertain a second on that motion. Seconded by the Alderman from the 24th. We have a couple resolutions today. Alderman from the 19th, would you like to approach the dais?
President Kennedy, what's his name? Chair. Could you stay up here? Okay. Good morning. I'm going to try to be real chipper today. This is an occasion that we celebrate annually. This is Delta Day at City Hall. We have one of the most prestigious sorority organizations in the country, and they're housed in the 19th Ward. The Deltas have been organized since 1913, have provided what I believe to be, it's actually no way that you can actually calculate and or suggest all that they have provided to our societies all over the country, and most especially here in St. Louis. I do know firsthand how much they volunteer, how well they are engaged in making sure that not only their sisters in their sorority are getting upward mobility, but they're also looking to see that education is supported and other social issues in our community. I am very honored today to ask the Deltas to come to the diocese so that we can represent you here and give you this resolution and honor you today. Most of you have a Delta that lives in your ward. Do you know your Delta? So we're going to take a moment today so you can know your Delta. And I'm going to have them call out their city wards that they live in and raise their hands so you can know your Delta. Hi. How you doing today? Doing good. Good. So let's see. Do we have a Delta that lives in the 1st Ward? Raise your hand, Delta lady.
Right here.
All right. Do we have a Delta that lives in the 2nd Ward? 3rd Ward? 4th Ward? Do we have a Delta that lives in the 5th Ward? There's a Delta lady in the 5th Ward. Know your Delta. Delta ladies in the 6th Ward. Delta ladies in the 7th and 8th Ward. I see that hand over there. Know your Delta. Deltas in the 9th and 10th Ward. Deltas in the 11th and 12th Ward. Deltas in the 13th and 14th Ward. Deltas in the 15th and 16th Ward. Deltas in the 17th and 18th Ward. I knew it was 18th. That's why I had you here. I knew it was 18th.
Thank you.
Okay. And of course, Deltas in the 19th and 20th wards. Yeah, all of us. Okay. Deltas in the 21st, 22nd ward. Here's 22nd over here. Know your Deltas now. Deltas in the 23rd, 24th ward. Deltas in the 25th, 26th ward. 26 right here. Okay. Deltas in the 27th and 28th ward. So as you can see, they're in all parts of our city, and they've been very instrumental in our schools and all of that. So I welcome you today, I honor you today, and on behalf of the Board of Aldermen in the City of St. Louis, we give you this resolution in recognition of all that you have done.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so very much. On behalf of the St. Louis Alumni Chapter of Delta Sigma Theta, with over 250 members, it is an honor to receive this resolution. Thank you so very much. We will continue to be a profound impact in the communities in the city of St. Louis. Thank you.
Take a picture.
Which way to take it?
Hold on, Steph.
We're going to do something else. You know, our president has a way of wanting to make sure that you have those extra special things.
Yes.
And so, along with this extraordinary plaque in your honor, we also have medallions that indicates the City of St. Louis seal.
Oh,
Isn't that nice? Miss President, here.
oh, ladies.
You know, you need to style that. You need to style that. Yes, please. You should style that.
Thank you.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
Thank
Oh,
you.
yes.
Isn't that nice?
All right.
Thank you. Here you are. Oh, thank you again.
I want to join with what Alderwoman Davis so eloquently put about the impact of the deltas. I mean, it's hard to put in words the total impact of the deltas on our community. You know, the deltas work throughout our community each and every day, not just, doing the things that are specific to their sorority, but registering voters, working on education issues, health issues, and all kinds of things. And I think that that is very, very, commendable, because it represents an important component to our entire community, the total impact of things that you guys do. As a father of two daughters, I am really, really, I understand that component also, and I think that that's a very important component also, to see women in that leadership role, working throughout that community, making things happen. So I am honored to share this dais with you today, and And every year I look forward to Delta Days, and I'm glad to see you back again this year. Looking forward to more things in the future, and anything that we can do. Understand this board stands behind you, ready to work with you on any level.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks again for all the things.
So very much.
All right, thank you. If we can get a couple aldermen to step up to help us put these medals on the deltas, I would greatly appreciate it. Yeah. So if you can come over here so that we can put the medals on the deltas, I would greatly appreciate it. So hand them. Deltas, we appreciate you. We really do. Absolutely. Thank you for all that you got.
Yeah, that would be good. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. This way. We're going this way. Let me get it. Be very careful now. Watch where you step.
Alderman Ortman, I need you to work. How you doing?
I still got two more.
You still got two over here. I think most of them are being taken care of down there.
Thank you so much. This is such a nice touch.
Thank you, Alderman Cohn, Alderwoman Young. Boxes if they want them.
Your men don't know to get ladies that box.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah. There's a blue one.
There you go. Mr. President.
Hey, can you guys stand here for the picture? Hey, Joe, Alderman Vaccaro, come back up for the picture, and Alderman Cohn, Shane, can you come back for the picture with the? Alderwoman Young, can you hop in for the picture? Yes.
Should I just go ahead?
Yeah.
You don't say anything?
Yeah, you just.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you would.
The board now come to order.
Resolution 29 today honors a longtime worker in the city of St. Louis, not just for the city itself, but for the community in general, Mr. Ira Fowlkes. Many of you think of him as being synonymous with the city TV station. That is not his name. He's not City TV 10. His name is Ira Fowlkes. He's been here since the beginning of that division with the city and has done a number of other things that many people are not aware. He is a very active member in every community that he has ever lived in and has also been involved with others, helping with development. If you see, the resolution cites the fact that he helped the creation of 20 new homes in the 18th Ward and the 19th. He has worked with the Sarah Finney Merchants Association long before even I became alderman. He has worked with a number of philanthropist organizations within the city. And just to cite a few other things, he was once the general manager of KBDY-FM at the tender age of 27. He became its general manager. He was also one of the co-founders of the National Black Media Association of St. Louis. He was an executive director of the Dr. Martin Luther King Committee, which hosted the parade that is held every year. He was a member of IBEW Local 2 and was one of his organizers. Mr. Fowlkes has also worked with what was called in our area the BFGF Incorporated with the Hudson family. Many of you may remember the committeeman, Mr. Hudson, in helping to develop the Vandervenner neighborhood, which encompasses a portion of the 19th Ward and of the 18th Ward. And he also hosted a talk show on KATZ AM radio for 10 years that was early in the morning, and I had the opportunity to be forced to get up in the morning and go to that station and to sit there with Ira Fowlkes and to answer calls at some 7 o'clock in the morning. And he was there with his wife, Karen Fowlkes, with a number of issues and programs about living in St. Louis and the good things that happen here. When his departure from the city came about and he went into retirement, we really didn't have the opportunity to recognize Ira in the way that many of us wanted. So we've taken this opportunity today to do so. His 30 years of service with the city of St. Louis and his decades of service in general to helping promote the city of St. Louis and to move things forward in our communities. So it is my honor today to present this resolution on behalf of this Board of Aldermen, honoring your great contributions to our community and thanking you for those years of service and thanking your family and friends for putting up with you. Ira is a man of ideas. At any moment you can wake up and he's on the phone with a new idea. Now whether it works or not, he has them. And we know that ideas is what generates activity in a community, and certainly his ideas have generated change and development for the betterment of our community. We thank you, Mr. Fowlkes, the idea man.
Alderman Kennedy, he is so kind in a load out of ways. When he came to do my radio show, the first time he was my first guest, remember so right, and we did at KTZ. It was 6 o'clock in the morning.
6 o'clock.
And Terry got there, he had a little hat on, his little hat, the flops on it. And the first thing he said, can we do this a different way? And so from that, we started making telephone calls to people in the morning time, and guests came on the telephone line for our show. And I went to WGNU, okay, he was my first guest on the radio show. And also, he's been remotely humbled himself. Every year for about 10 or 13 weeks on the air at KTZ, he did a Kwanzaa show that explained to Kwanzaa, to what it meant, and he was eloquent, he did that. So again, his father was one of my mentors also. So I knew Terry long, he knew me long before I knew him. And a lot of these people I look around here are friends of mine. I look at, one of my people I'm proud of the most is Larry Arnowitz. I remember when Larry, we go way, way, way back. I look at, Frank back here with his father. I look around the room, different people here. That's been a part of my life in a positive way to kind of guide me. Now, one of the things I'd like to say before I leave out of here, somebody asked me, could we do this today? Well, anytime in life, timing is all about timing. I've been blessed. We have a little company in another life, that has some new ideas, and we are 2 years old at this point, and we are growing, and we have clients pretty much most of the Midwest, and we've been blessed. But one of the things that today is more important to me than anything else in the world is the people behind me. To my left is my oldest daughter, Dawn. Matter of fact, today, and you're talking about timing, okay? Her birthday is Sunday. My mother's birthday is Sunday. Okay, so my grandson, which is her son, leaving for school to go to Colorado tomorrow. Okay, when I started for the city, communication was 25 years ago on May 25th. I started my new company 2 years ago this month also. So May has been a very, happy month for me, and I guess, in that process to the day that I left communication was 2 years ago to the day also. I mean, so God had a different plan for me. Like you said, ideas, I do have those. But the good part about it is that people that I talk to are receptive, and they work with my ideas, and they become our ideas. And in the city of St. Louis, we're all about what we can do as a whole. And one of the things is I look out here, all you people have been my friends for a long time. Some of you before you became aldermen, you know what I'm saying? Like in the case of Greg Carter, I remember his mother. Okay, like I said, I said the families and the family, I mean, like in the case of Tom Villa, I worked with his family, Red Villa, Tommy, and Alderman Villa, and also Matt. So there are 3 generations, okay, that I worked with over the years, and they've been very important to me as who I am today. To understand that keep your word, be fair who you are, and live who you can be. And so this morning, the date 18 kind of rolled around this morning, that's the day I was going to say. So I'm a biblical prayer, I like reading my Bible. So this morning I was reading Psalm 118. And it's kind of funny, all the things that I wanted to say, I found in that passage this morning. And it tells, I kind of challenge you guys, just go look at it yourself, okay? And you would appreciate who you are today more than you were yesterday. So on that note, I'd like to introduce Dawn. This is my auntie, Aunt Maud. She lives with Marjorie Jones. This is Mother Frances over here. Now, Mother Frances is a very special person. These 2 ladies right here had no option but be a part of my life, okay, because we were born into the same family. Now, Mother Frances had an option. The day that I did my mother's eulogy, some years ago, Alderman Davis McFarland was there, Committeeman Bertha Mitchell was there, and so was Mother Frances. After the funeral, you go to a funeral, you kind of feeling kind of bad, it's not a good day, because hey, this is not a good day. And so that day, those 3 came up to me and said, Ira, don't worry about it. Your mother's gone, we got your back. And since that time, through thick and thin, we cry together. We're going to do this. And sometimes with choices, she made a choice to be a part of my life. And so did you guys made a choice to make me your friend. And so for all those years, okay, I want to thank you for being my friend. I ain't going no place. I still got ideas. And we've been blessed, okay? And like I said, here she is again. Well, I do this all the time, like she, we don't always agree. And most times she tell me I'm wrong, and I say, yes, ma'am. But on that note, again, thank you for taking the time to give me some satisfaction, saying thank you for letting me be my friend all these years. And God bless you, and life is good.
Any discussion? Alderman from the 12th.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Alderman from the 26th.
Thank you, Mr. President. I just want to thank Ira for all his great service. Anytime we had any activities in the 26th Ward, I can call Ira. He will respond and be there for us. And all through the years, you've been very helpful with all your advice, and we appreciate you. So thanks a lot, Ira.
Any further? Alderman from the 19th.
Thank you, Mr. President. Ira, I wanted to congratulate you because I knew you were going to go on to bigger and better things. We thank you for serving the city of St. Louis. I have to thank you because there was never, ever a time when you called me that I didn't learn something in our hour or 2-hour conversations. So I appreciate those, and I cannot say another word until I give respect to your mom, your second mom back there. That is my constituent, Ms. Frances Shelby, and believe me, she keeps all of us in order, so I understand. Thank you.
Alderman from the 4th.
Thank you, Mr. President. Ira, you are a man of many, and I appreciate you, what you're doing over in the 4th Ward, and you have to be a really good man to get Terry Kennedy up that time of morning to be on the radio show. Thank you.
Alderman from the 11th.
Thank you, Mr. President. Just to thank Ira and his family for his many years of dedicated service. And Ira, if you remember, there was a time when these board meetings were not in fact televised. And when I was the president, we had a few egos here, and you were certainly instrumental, and we accomplished the fact that now anybody that's into the macabre can watch this every Friday morning at 10 o'clock. Thank you, and we appreciate your efforts. Thank you, Mr. President.
All right, thank you, Tom. Any further discussion? Any further discussion? I also want to just send my thanks and congratulations also on the job well done. Now that you're moving on to bigger and better things, you know what that means. That means that we're going to draft you for other things also. So we'll be bugging you all the time, and we're looking forward to putting more of your good ideas into action. So thanks again for a job well done. I'd like to make a motion that we pass the Delta's resolution and bank. I'll entertain a second on that motion. Seconded by the Alderman from the 19th, and the Alderman from the 21st, and the Alderman from the 25th. All in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed, motion carries. Madam Clerk, please make note of that change. Also would like to request that Mr. Ira's resolution be passed in bank. I'll entertain a second on that motion. Seconded by the Alderman from the 11th. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed, motion carries. Madam Clerk, please make note of that change also.
So noted.
It's been moved and seconded that we adopt our courtesy resolution calendar. All in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed, motion carries. That will return to our regular order of business. Introduction of honored guests. Any introduction of honored guests? Alderman from the 23rd.
Yes, I'd like to recognize from the Realtor, Celeste Reeder, and from the St. Louis Post, David Hunn, who's joining us this morning.
Alderman from the 16th.
Thank you, Mr. President and members of the board. I would like to have as my special guest today Mr. Anthony Lancia from the AGC.
Alderman from the 22nd.
Good morning, Mr. President, members of the board. I have two honored guests. My first esteemed guest is one of my most favorite. Listen, one of my most favorite constituents. I want her to stand, Miss Marjorie Jones. And I'd like to have Miss Joanne Williams with the Carpenters District Council. Thank you.
Alderman from the 4th.
Thank you, Mr. President and members of the board. I'd like to have as my special guest today the AT&T Group, Ameren UE Group, and my very special guest today is Ms. Lisa McNichols. Thank you.
Alderman from the 27th.
Thank you, Mr. President. As my special guest this morning, I'd like to have Demetrius Alford of Local 73 and one of my constituents in the galley, Ms. Roseanne Roydes.
Alderman from the 19th.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'd like to have as my special guest today, Mr. Darrell Oliver. I wanted to say to him, thank you for all that you do, and most especially when you look out after our seniors. Thank you.
Alderman from the 9th.
Thank you, Mr. President, members of the board. I'd like to have for my honored guest today, Ronnie Auer.
There he is. Any further introductions? Any further introductions? Deltas, you know we do not have air conditioning in here, so at any time during the course of this meeting, don't feel bad if you have to exit. We completely understand. Alderman from the 13th, you recognize on approval of the minutes. Alderman from the 13th. Alderman from the 11th. Not the Alderman from.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move for approval of the minutes of the May 4th meeting.
Moved by the Alderman from the 13th, seconded by the Alderman from the 11th. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed, motion carries. Report of city officials.
Report of city officials can be found in sections A, B, and C of the agenda and have been placed in all aldermen's mailboxes. I have from His Honor the Mayor the following correspondence. Dear members of the board, I have the pleasure to submit the following individuals for appointment to the 1201 Washington Community Improvement District. The appointment of Mr. Chadwick Sneed, who resides at 104 Armour Road, Kansas City, Missouri, whose term will expire on May the 18th, 2016. The appointment of David Johnson, who resides at 4217 North Hickory, Kansas City, Missouri, whose term will expire on May the 18th, 2016. The appointment of Stuart Woody, who resides at 2018 Northwest 59th Street, Kansas City, whose term will expire on May the 18th, 2016. The appointment of Michael McRobert, who resides at 5720 Northeast Wilson, whose term will expire on May the 18th, 2016. The appointment of John A. Elvey, who resides at 1943 Larkspur, Liberty, Missouri, whose term will expire on May the 18th, 2016. I respectfully request your approval of these appointments. Sincerely, Francis G. Slay, Mayor, City of St. Louis.
Alderman from the 5th, you recognize on the mayor's appointment to the 1201 Washington Community Improvement District.
Yes, I'd like to make a motion that the 1201 Washington Community Improvement District be approved.
Are the members?
Members.
Okay. It's been moved by the Alderman from the 5th. I intend seconded by the Alderman from the 12th. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed, motion carries. Thank you.
Dear members of the board, I have the pleasure to submit the following individuals for appointment to the Riverfront Hotel Community Improvement District. The appointment of Michael Towerman, who resides at 1164 Shepherd Oaks Drive, and whose term will expire on May 18, 2016. The appointment of Daniel Fox, who resides at 16640 Chesterfield Grove Road, whose term will expire on May 18, 2016. The appointment of David Minton, who resides at 669 Polo Drive, and whose term will expire on May 18, 2016. The appointment of Mark Martin, who resides at 137 Glen Allen Drive, and whose term will expire on May 18, 2016. The appointment of Sharon Walls, who resides at 6305 Wayne Drive, whose term will expire on May 18, 2016. I respectfully request your approval of these appointments. Sincerely, Francis G. Slay, Mayor, City of St. Louis.
Alderman from the 7th, you recognize on the mayor's appointment to the Riverfront Hotel Community Improvement District.
Thank you, Mr. President. Members of the board, I move for approval of the mayor's appointments to the Riverfront Hotel Community Improvement District.
Moved by the Alderman from the 7th, seconded by the Alderman from the 22nd. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries.
That's the extent of report of city officials.
We dispense with line item 7. Would anyone like to take any bills off of any of our informal calendars? Would anyone like to take any bills off of any of our informal calendars? We'll dispense with line items 8 through 10, first reading board bills.
Board Bill 52, sponsored by Alderman Ortman and Alderman Carter, an ordinance pertaining to sun screening devices applied to the windshield or windows of motor vehicles containing a penalty, severability, and emergency clause. Board Bill 53, sponsored by Alderman Ogilvy, an ordinance prohibiting the harassment of pedestrians and bicyclists containing definitions, prohibited activities, and a penalty clause. That's the extent of our first readings.
Reference to committee.
To the Public Safety Committee, Board Bills 52 and 53. That's the extent of reference to committees.
Second reading.
The following board bills were reported out of the Streets Committee. Board Bill 18, sponsored by Alderwoman Davis, an ordinance recommended by the Board of Public Service to vacate vehicle, equestrian, and pedestrian travel on LaSalle Street from Compton to Virginia and Virginia to Choteau to LaSalle. Board Bill number 39, sponsored by Alderman Conway and Vollmer, an ordinance recommended by the Board of Public Service establishing a public works improvement project for Kings Highway Bridge over the Union Pacific Railroad involving the reconstruction of the bridge and associated roadway improvements on Kings Highway from Interstate 44 to Vanderbilt, containing a public work emergency clause. Board Bill 44, sponsored by Alderman Moore, an ordinance establishing a stop sign for all eastbound traffic traveling on Aldine at Bishop P.L. Scott, containing an emergency clause. Board Bill 45, sponsored by Alderwoman Young, an ordinance pertaining to street performers containing an emergency clause. Board Bill 47, sponsored by Alderman Rhodey, an ordinance recommended by the Board of Public Service to conditionally vacate travel in City Block 3946, bounded by Papin, Pacific, Choteau, and Vanderbilt. Board Bill number 50, sponsored by Alderman Bosley, and an ordinance recommended by the Parking Commission making appropriation for payment of operating expenses, capital equipment, and improvement expenses, including lease purchase agreements involving the Parking Division assets and debt service expenses of the Parking Division of the Treasurer's Office, Kiel, Argyle, Choteau, Williams Paper, Central Downtown, Buckingham, Couples, and Justice Parking Facilities, containing an emergency clause. The following board bills were reported out of the Transportation and Commerce Committee. Board Bill number 10, sponsored by Alderman Kennedy, an ordinance recommended and approved by the Airport Commission and the Board of Investment and Apportionment, authorizing the transfer in the total amount not to exceed $2,600,000 from the Airport Development Fund into the Airport Revenue Fund, containing a severability clause and an emergency clause. Board Bill 21, sponsored by Alderman Kennedy, an ordinance authorizing and directing the issuance by the city of its airport revenue refunding bond series 2012 in an aggregate principal amount not to exceed $35 million, containing a severability and an emergency clause. Board Bill 38, sponsored by Alderman Kennedy, an ordinance recommended and approved by the Airport Commission and the Board of Estimate and Apportionment, authorizing a 7th supplemental appropriation in the total amount of $1,246,398.85, containing an emergency clause. That's the extent of our second readings.
We dispense with line item 14, perfection consent.
Board Bill number 3, sponsored by Alderman Bosley, and an ordinance repealing Ordinance 69094 pertaining to the issuance of any package or drink liquor licenses for premises within the boundaries of the 3rd Ward Liquor Control District, containing an emergency clause. Board Bill number 4, committee substitute, sponsored by Alderwoman Cruzen, an ordinance prohibiting the issuance of any 3 a.m. closing permits for any currently non-licensed premises within the 28th Ward Liquor Control District, containing an emergency clause. Board Bill 35, sponsored by Alderwoman Howard, Alderman Boyd, and Kennedy, an ordinance pertaining to the Preservation Review Districts, amending Ordinance 64832 and 66609. Board Bill number 6, committee substitute, sponsored by Alderwoman Young, an ordinance pertaining to special use districts establishing the Kosciuszko Business and Industrial Area Special Use District, providing definitions and findings pertaining to said district. Board Bill number 8, sponsored by Alderwoman Young, an ordinance recommended by the Planning Commission to change the zoning of property from both D, multiple family district, and F, neighborhood commercial district, F, neighborhood commercial district only, in all 3 D, multiple family dwelling district, F, neighborhood commercial district, and J, industrial district, and J, industrial district only, to either D, multiple family dwelling district, the F, neighborhood commercial district, or G, local commercial and office district only in city blocks 680, 780, 781, 782, 783, 787, 788, 790, 791, 798, 806, 809, 842, and 843, and containing an emergency clause. Board Bill 7, Committee Substitute, sponsored by Alderman Ogilvy, an ordinance recommended by the Planning Commission to change the zoning of property from A, single-family dwelling district in both A, single-family dwelling district, and D, multiple-family dwelling district, and F, neighborhood commercial district, to the H, area commercial district only in various city blocks on both, for properties on both Berthold, Graham, Clayton, Oakland, containing an emergency clause. That's the extent of perfection consent.
Alderman from 24th, you recognize.
Mr. President, I request that we move Board Bill 7, Committee Substitute, to the Perfection Informal Calendar.
Madam Clerk, please make note of that change. Board Bill number 7, Committee Substitute.
Thank you.
Put it on the Perfection Informal calendar.
So noted.
Alderman from the 13th, you recognize on the Perfection Consent calendar.
Thank you, Mr. President. Members of the board, I move for perfection of the aforementioned bills on the consent calendar.
Moved by the Alderman from the 13th. Entertain a second on that motion. Seconded by the Alderman from the 23rd. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Board bills for perfection.
Board Bill 42, sponsored by Alderman Carter, an ordinance pertaining to citywide housing conservation program containing a penalty clause and a severability clause.
Alderman from the 27th, you recognize on the perfection of Board Bill number 42.
Thank you, Mr. President. I request that you take Board Bill 42 and put it on the Perfection Informal calendar.
Madam Clerk, please make note of that change. Place Board Bill number 42 on the Perfection Informal calendar.
So noted. That's the extent of board bills for perfection.
Third reading consent.
Board bills 25, 29, and 30.
Alderman from the 13th, you recognize on the third reading consent calendar. At the third reading consent.
Thank you, Mr. President. Members of the board, I move for a third reading and final passage of the aforementioned bills on the consent calendar.
Moved by the Alderman from the 13th, seconded by the Alderman from the 12th. Any discussion? Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Alderman Troop, Alderwoman Flowers, Alderman Bosley, Alderman Moore, Alderwoman Hubbard, Alderwoman Triplett, Alderwoman Young, Alderman Conway, Alderman Ortman, Alderman Vollmer, Alderman Villa, Alderman Arnowitz, Alderman Wessels, Alderwoman Howard, Alderwoman Florida, Alderwoman Behringer, Alderman Rhodey, Alderman Kennedy, Alderwoman Davis, Alderman Schmid, Alderman French, Alderman Boyd, Alderman Vaccaro, Alderman Ogilvy, Alderman Cone, Alderman Williamson, Alderman Carter, Alderwoman Cruzen, President Reed,
Aye.
Alderwoman Triplett, Alderman Conway, Alderman Vollmer, Alderwoman Howard, Alderwoman Florida, Alderman Schmid, Alderman Cone, 23 aye votes.
By your vote, you sustain the motion of the Alderman from the 13th and third read and finally pass the aforementioned bills. We'll dispense with line item 18, report of enrollment.
Board bills 25, 29, and 30.
All other business being suspended, the President shall in open session affix his signature hereto to the end that these may become law. Dispense with line items 21 and 22, miscellaneous unfinished business.
We have none.
Announcements.
Tuesday, Ways and Means Committee meeting, 9 a.m. in the Leisure Room. See attached schedule. Wednesday, Ways and Means Committee meeting, 9 a.m. in the Leisure Room. See the attached schedule. Thursday, full board meeting, 10 a.m. in the chambers. Friday, there will be no board meeting. That's the extent of my announcement.
Any further announcements? Any further announcements? Alderman from the second.
Thank you, Mr. President, members of the board. I'm happy to announce that our first Live on the Rocks concert for 2012 is June 1st. It will be a reggae summer splash, and thank you to Alderman Shane Cohen. We will be returning to the Chain of Rocks Bridge, which just happened a couple of days ago. It will be from 6 to 12, and you can come and walk the bridge from 6 to midnight. Just don't do anything on that bridge you wouldn't want to tell your mom about. But please bring your lawn chair, and I hope you can join us. Also, I'm very excited that the Second Ward is having their first People and Pet Health Fair tomorrow. We will be spay and neutering cats and dogs, chipping them, vaccinating them, and I have had an overwhelming response. I've gotten a lot of people that have called from various wards, not just the Second Ward, even the county. There is a great need for people that want their animals spayed and neutered, and to me it doesn't matter where you live, but if you live in the Second Ward, it's only $10 to get your pet spayed, neutered, and rabies vaccinated. Others is $40. The chipping is $15. So we are totally booked for tomorrow. So 14 animals are being spayed and neutered. Tomorrow, Tuesday, 27 animals being spayed and neutered, and we have 2 more dates, the 29th and June the 5th. So I hope we can repeat it. I hope I can spread the word and help you do it in your wards as well, because it's a great need. And again, just give me a call if you want to get on the list, 388-3444. Thank you.
All right. Any further announcements? Alderman from 24th.
President, today, May 18th, is National Bike to Work Day. Who rode their bike to work today?
This is the one day I didn't ride it. Generally, I'm riding it. This is the one day I didn't ride it.
It was a beautiful morning. I want to thank TrailNet. TrailNet was out there at various locations in the region with fueling stations, saying hi to folks and handing out bananas and coffee and whatnot. And today is also a great day just to recognize the improvements that St. Louis has made in the last decade in becoming a more bike-friendly place. And when we do these things, we don't just do them for the people who ride bikes now, we do them for people like my dad, who grew up in Midland, Texas, in oil country. And his dad spent his whole life selling drill bits to take the oil out of the ground. But now in his 50s, my dad's not too old, in his 50s, he only lives 6 miles from work. And even though he's a salesman and he drives his pickup truck all around all day long, he'll ride into work, get in the truck, do his stuff, come back to work at the end of the day and ride the bike home. So we can teach some old dogs new tricks. And I think we've been really making progress on that. So happy National Bike to Work Day, everybody.
All right, excellent. Alderman from the 7th.
Thank you, Mr. President, members of the board. I wanted to mention that this weekend will be the Compton Heights House Tour. If you've never been on that tour, it's the first time in 4 years that they're having one, so it would be a very nice event to attend. So I hope you'll see you there.
Yeah. All right, thank you. Alderman from the 27th.
Thank you, Mr. President. As a reminder, the 27th Ward has its monthly meeting tomorrow, the 19th of May, Saturday, at 10 a.m. at Bishop Willie Ellis Conference Center at 5939 Goodfellow. Thank you.
Alderman from the 19th.
Thank you, Mr. President. I wanted to first thank my residents in the Botanical Heights neighborhood, Tiffany and others who participated, supported, and gathered to work on the homeless issue that we had all week. They understood that it was more than for someone to just stand up and say, the city is not doing a good job. It was an inhumane act that was performed. We do better, we have done better, and we will do even better. So I wanted to thank those residents because they gathered, they got information, they worked with the city. Every city department did their job appropriately. Mr. Roth, who's now our new Director of Public Safety, worked with me all weekend. I'm sure his wife wasn't happy with Mother's Day because we were busy at meetings and emails until midnight Sunday. So I appreciate the assistance from the city and most especially the residents because they have a new reason now to understand what it means to have community and to be connected to each other. Also, I wanted to share with you that on this Saturday from 12 to 4 p.m. at 17th and Delmar, there will be a rally, a youth rally, and the premise of it is peace. They want to talk about young people staying in school, staying away from crime, all of that. And I have to give my new business is going to do a preview this Saturday, which is Sweetie Pies from 4 to 8 p.m. and her new location is 3643 Delmar, right at Grand. She is not cooking chicken wings and greens, folks. This is a preview to see the facility. We will not have any macaroni and cheese or peach cobbler. So it's a preview. We'll do the big grand opening later on. But I'm so proud of her and all that she's brought to St. Louis with her new fame and for her investment in this new restaurant. It is fabulous. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Alderman from the 9th.
Thank you, Mr. President, members of the board. The Benton Park Neighborhood Association tomorrow has got their second annual 5K run. If you're a runner, I'd get there about 8 o'clock to make sure you're registered. And I'm a watcher, so I watch the 5K run.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Alderwoman from the 15th, did you have any?
I wanted to officially thank the Alderwoman of the 19th. The people of the 15th were worried about those very complicated issues that you dealt with over the weekend. And so hats off to you, Alderwoman, for sensitively and responsibly handling this situation, and we thank you.
All right, thank you. Alderman from the 3rd.
Mr. President, members of the board, I'd like to announce that the 3rd Ward Regular Democratic Organization will hold its meeting on the last Tuesday of this month at Clay Elementary School. All of the candidates that are running for anything in the city of St. Louis, state of Missouri, will be there. They have been invited.
All right, thank you. Alderman from the 2nd.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'm sorry I got so excited about the dogs, I forgot about the people portion. We will have 2 fitness classes also, one at 11 and one at 1 by 2 personal trainers. We're going to be raffling off 2 one-hour training sessions with the personal trainer and 2 sessions for Zumba, as well as Subway by Energy Express is going to give us a healthy meal, turkey and apples and baked chips. And we'll also have the cutest dog and most talented dog contest, and it's from 9 to 3 p.m.
Any further discussion? Any further discussion? Alderman from 13th, you recognize on the motion to excuse.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move to excuse the alderman from the 10th, 14th, and 20th wards due to necessary absence.
Moved by the Alderman from 13th, seconded by the Alderman from 11th. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Alderman from 13th, you recognize on the motion to adjourn.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move to adjourn the meeting until Thursday, 10 a.m., May 24th.
Moved by the Alderman from 13th, entertain a second on that motion, seconded by the Alderman from 11th. All in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed? We stand adjourned.